Joining us now is Aaron Cohen. He's an IDF Special Forces operations veteran who now advises police departments on counterterrorism. The shooting deaths happened in Gaza City during an IDF combat mission. What do we think happened?
Well, Liz, I want to make it clear these hostages were not gunned down intentionally. I want to be careful with the terminology. They were shot by accident. Friendly fire when you're dealing with urban operations is a very high-risk possibility, given the fact that Hamas is not fighting in uniform. They've ditched that green bandana. Let me remind you what it says, Liz. In Arabic, it says "Hat el-Mut," which means to the death. So they've been using that civilian population as cover, which everybody knows. I don't need to sell that. The hostages, from what I understand, Liz, had successfully managed to escape the Hamas captors who were keeping them hostage. They ended up moving towards the IDF forces and were accidentally shot in what we call fratricide, which is when there's a force-on-force shooting from both from the same side. And it's unfortunate, but that's a very heavy combat area in that part of Gaza City, which is known as Shaja'iyah, which is very, very dangerous right now. There's a very high concentration of combat operations being conducted. It's tragic, and it makes me very, very hurt. However, this was not a hostage rescue mission, Liz. This was not a planned operation to rescue the hostages. The IDF forces, from what I understand from my contacts, had no idea that those hostages had managed to free themselves. But I think that speaks to the Israeli spirit. Isardut, or survival in Hebrew. Good for them for trying to get out, but it's very, very sad that they were accidentally killed.
You know, it's gut-wrenching. They had managed to finally free themselves from their captors and were running to the people who represented safety. And those people did open fire on them. I get that it's the fog of war. It's confusing. They're fighting against Hamas, who's dressed in civilian clothes. It's difficult. But you have to, I'm sure you must understand, this will give ammunition to critics who say that the IDF is too quick to fire, that it has a shoot first, ask later policy.
Liz, I understand the point, and Israel has been dealing with the Fifth Front, or a public relations front, which has been very difficult. The IDF spokesman have been, doing the best they can to be able to communicate what's actually going on the ground. Israel's been methodically documenting all of the operations that they've been conducting, including all those hospitals, those mosques being used as command and control structures. And again, it's a very difficult situation. But I'm going to say this, Liz, and I know that you're a pretty level-minded reporter, journalist, expert. When it comes to anti-fratricide, Israel takes it so seriously to the point where every off-duty law enforcement officer in Israel is forced to carry this anti-fratricide high-visibility reflective cap. And that cap goes into their pocket. It only comes out when they're responding to an active shooter. It's mandatory by law that that cap goes on the head, and that's to avoid friendly fire shootings from other uniformed officers who are responding. And that reduces risk, it reduces blue-on-blue fire. Every IDF undercover special operations units wears these when they're dressed in civilian clothing for the purpose of being able to infiltrate undetected. And so we take it very, very seriously. And I want to say this, the U.S. better start getting on board with this right now. 11 terrorists were just picked up in Europe out of Germany and out of Denmark. And you heard what the FBI director, Chris Wray, said. Everywhere he's turning right now, he sees flashing lights, which means that the threat level is at the highest, if not higher than it's been since 9/11. So U.S. law enforcement needs to get on board with this anti-fratricide clothing here, which folds up, only comes out when the weapon comes out. It's one of the things I teach to law enforcement here, but again, it's a very tragic situation.
Right. It's a very...
Israel was very quick to present the facts here and to make sure that those bodies got back to those families. But again, don't forget, we've got over 100 hostages still being held. This was not a hostage rescue mission, and it's very, very tragic. And as you mentioned, is due to the fog of war.
Yeah, I'm sure, as you also know, as we speak, there is a brand new protest in Israel right now from Israeli citizens who still feel that the government is not doing enough and should prioritize hostage retrieval.
I agree, and you know what? And that's the thing about Israel is Israelis aren't afraid to stand up.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.